Compare, are we good? Good. We got any fans of J-pop or Japanese pop in here tonight? No one. In case you don't know, it's a bit weird. Not to say I don't like J-pop. I mean, I like to believe I'm a fan of all kinds of music, but through discovering J-pop over the last couple of years, kind of know there's a couple of songs discovered that I'd like to share with you. The first one is called Pom Pom Pom. Now, most of the lyrics, if you translate them from Japanese to English, it sounds like the lyrics are fairly normal, but there's some bits which it just says in English, but just don't make sense, such as, every day is pom? What does pom mean? Is pom good? Is pom bad? Why is your day pom, kiawi pam you pam you? Then there's bits which just don't make sense in any language, where she says, pom pom, way, pom pom way, pom pom. Way, pom pom pom. Way, pom way, pom way. Yeah, you get it. Why is this even in the song? I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense at all. There's no English songs like this out there. Except there are, aren't there? And we just don't like to admit it. First example is Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. Song goes, Psycho Killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Far better. Even if you translate the French bit, it still doesn't really make sense. Psycho Killer, what is it? Run away. Now why are we running? You were asking what Psycho Killer was. Second example, I Am the Walrus by the Beatles. I am the Eggman, they are the Eggmen. I am the Walrus, Goo Goo Gajoob. Which one are you, John? Are you the famous Sonic villain or the famous Spider-Man villain? You, sir, you know, the famous Spider-Man villain, the Walrus. Last example is Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think you all know who it's by. Most of that song obviously has a meaning to it, but as far as I know, there's no meaning behind I see a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche, Scaramouche, can you do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very frightening me, Galileo. Galileo. No, it's Figaro. I know you all want to carry on with the song, but we're going to go on with the set. But you see what I mean? We don't care that songs don't make sense, because they're fun to sing and they're fun to listen to. Just like Pom Pom Pom. Next song I'm going to talk to you about is called Popey Po. Very similar title to Pom Pom Pom, but still. Song's by Japanese Vocaloid Miku Hatsune. If you don't know what a Vocaloid is, it's basically like a computer program. Does the lyrics and stuff, and then the concerts they have like this hologram of a Japanese girl dancing. But yeah, if you translate the lyrics of this song, it's literally just an advert for vegetable juice. Like seriously, translate the lyrics, and it's an advert for goddamn vegetable juice. She personally recommends the green one. That's an actual line in the song. You're not even real, Miku Hatsune, you're a Vocaloid. How can you comment on which one's your favourite? You haven't tried it, you fraud. But then, looking through the related videos to this song, all the titles seem to be fairly normal. Like, there could have easily been English songs. I mean, like, there were just titles like, Just Be Friends, or, We Are Pop Candy? Can I take my panties off? For fuck's sake, Kagamine Rin, you're a Vocaloid too. You're not even real, keep your panties on, or weeaboos will too. But no, as I say, I'm a fan of all genres of music. It's just separating the good from the bad. My dad always likes to say rap's just got a silent C at the beginning of it, but clearly he hasn't heard Stupid Home by Nicki Minaj. Speaking of my dad, I was reminded of a story the other day. When I was a young boy, I got food poisoning. And when I got food poisoning, the doctor said, you need to drink lots of fizzy drinks. Now my dad being a parent was obviously like, oh, you can't drink just Coke, it'll rot your teeth. So what does he do? He buys me a shit ton of Lucozade. Now this isn't unfair, Dad. I'm a really ill boy in bed and I can't move. I just want to run, Dad. I just want to run. And then being reminded of this story reminded me of a bunch of other times my parents just generally haven't given a shit. Such as one time my mum used to go riding horses and because I was so young, she'd take me with her. And as these places tend to do, there's electric fence around where they kept the horses. So what did Mum do? Oh, she doesn't lift me high enough. The leg collides with the fence and I get shocked. And then another time we were in Menorca and I lost my favourite toy, Iggy the iguana. I was absolutely distraught. It was my favourite toy. But then about a week after we got back from the holiday, Mum comes to me and she says, Jake, Iggy's back. Someone at the resort found him. He's come back to us. He's back from his holiday. It took me years to work out. She just ordered another one from eBay. That wasn't the same toy. I'd been sleeping with another toy for years. Then last story was that when I was a baby, I used to pretty much just eat carrot baby food. Now I don't know if any of you have ever had too many carrots, but what happens is your skin turns orange. This isn't a joke. This actually happened. And my mum didn't even recognise anything was wrong. She was just showing me to all her friends like, what? Isn't Jake so tanned? This guy's grandma's lovely olive skin. No, Mum, there's something wrong with me. And eventually they did take me to the doctors. You know what they said? He's got an illness called caroteniemia. It was the first recorded case that hospital had had since World War II. So yeah. I'd like to believe it's thanks to my parents that I have trust issues and generally awkward to talk to until you get to know me. Speaking of get to know people, who here was single when they came to uni? Who here thought that was going to change when they got to uni? Who here was proven swiftly wrong when they got to uni? I was like that. I got to uni, I was like, oh, they'll see how cool I am and great, and I'll have this great relationship in no time. No, if anything, it's actually gotten worse, because since I got to uni, I had something I never heard someone say to me before. You look like my little brother. And that's not just one person that said that to me, that's multiple people. Either that or like a fucking muffin. And let's face it, guys, no one wants to shag their little brother. And if you do, give me a call, yeah?
Good evening, Lancaster. How are we? Good. So I was in London recently, and I was on the tube, and it's a pretty packed tube, so we're all kind of like squished in quite tight. And there's just this girl next to me. I'm just kind of looking at her, and she's on her phone. I see that she opens up the internet. She goes to like a fan fiction website, and then she goes to the filters, and she filters specifically for Harry Potter fan fiction. And then she filters again specifically for fan fiction containing just Hermione and Draco. And then she filters again specifically for fan fiction that was X-rated. And there's kind of three things wrong with this situation for me. The first one is, I did two fingers, one. The first thing wrong with this is that, like, I can't call her out on it. I can't just be like, excuse me, miss, what are you doing there? What are you doing on your phone there, miss? But also because that's a horrible thing to do to someone in public. You can't just let everyone know that she's there reading her smut. The second thing wrong with this is that I could be considered the bad guy in this situation because I'm not respecting her privacy of what she's doing on her phone. And the third thing wrong with this, the main thing that is wrong with this, is that Hermione is obviously not with Draco. She's faithful to Ron. So yeah, we get to like the next stop, and she's still running away, and some people get off, and there's a seat free, so she sits down right in front of me. I can just see her. She's still reading away, and occasionally she's just like. So yeah, she's just reading this porn, and I really don't think that's okay. But like, okay, apparently it was okay to just read this stuff when like 50 Shades came out because everyone was reading it. But like, if I were to like sit down on a tube next to the person reading their fan fiction and 50 Shades of Grey, and just like whip out like a fucking hentai novel and just start going to town reading, I'm considered the pervert of that situation. Like, you're allowed to sit there with your bondage bordering on rape novel, or your internet butchery of a beloved Wizard franchise, but I can't sit down with some cartoon girls and some tentacles and just have me a nice read. So like, what's the dividing line between like what's okay and what's not okay to read in public? Because I would destroy any material. Just don't read porn in public. But apparently there's like, has society say like visual aid to your porn? Like, I'm allowed to sit down and read 50 Shades or like listen to the audiobook. But like, if I go on YouTube and find like the guy doing the sign language for me, that's just too far. Or like maybe it's like it's the amount of pornographic content. Because like from a quick Google search I did, I think it was like 80 out of 514 pages of 50 Shades is actual sex scenes. So that's like 15% smut. So does that mean that for my material to be okay in public, it has to be genuinely believable that I'm reading my porn for the story? Like, have I got to find out if like Yuki-chan and the tentacle like go and get married? Was there a one night stand? Is that what makes it okay? So yeah, I guess going off stories. One time in high school, we had an assembly, and this assembly starts with our teacher coming up to stage as Katy Perry's Firework plays. And you kind of imagine that to be like she like runs up onto stage while saying, "'Cause baby you're a fire," but it's not. It's just like the song starts playing and she kind of waddles up onto stage and then she stands there while the rest of the song plays and like the video is playing in the background behind her and we just all have to kind of sit there awkwardly waiting for it to finish. And then like the song finally finishes and she starts talking. She's like, "Wasn't that song just awful? That song is the worst. Oh wait, it's not. It's actually amazing. And here's why." Like she's pulling like a third act twist on the whole thing. And then she gets into like the meat of what this assembly is actually about. And it's about bullying. And like no school really knows how to deal with bullying. Like they usually tell you just tell someone about it. But like if you tell someone and the bully finds out before they're punished, you usually just get bullied worse. But my teacher, she reckoned she'd cracked it. She knew how to solve bullying, and she had a 4-letter acronym for it. SUMO, SUMO. That was her 4-letter acronym to crack bullying. So what does SUMO stand for? How do I solve bullying with just 4 letters? Well, it stands for shut up and move on. That was her solution to bullying. Firstly, that's literally the opposite advice any other school would give. But also, that's like, so her solution to bullying was like, "Oh, you're getting bullied. Get over it. It can't be that bad." But like, imagine if that was like the procedure for things in like real life. Not that school is not real life. Like it's like, "Oh fuck, that guy just stabbed me, but I can't tell anyone about it because I've got to remember sumo." Like even if I went to the hospital about this stab wound, that would be an act of weakness. Like if the stabber found out that I'd done this, maybe he'd come back and stab me again. Oh, also, I have zero idea how any of this related to Firework by Katy Perry. I have zero idea what the link was supposed to be. So I guess the final bit before I go. One time in high school, we were having like the sex ed talk, and this was like the only sex ed talk we actually got given because it's like we had like the puberty talk and then like the pregnancy and this is how babies happen. No, this is how you give birth and stuff. But this was like the actual insert this into that talk. And like we were in our forms doing it and not doing sex, having the talk, and the guy on the table next to us, he just starts kind of like leaning back and leaning until eventually he's just lying backwards with his head on our table. And at first we're kind of like, yeah, we get it, you're doing a big joke because you're the class clown. But then like a minute passes and he's still not moved, and we're like, ooh. And then he just starts making like these weird noises and having like a seizure, like he'd been possessed by some sort of ghost that did not want us to have sex ed. And then like he had to get taken away, and we never had that sex ed talk. Like then there's two kind of ways that could go, because like if I did it, I was not like a popular person. So if I did it, it's like, "Jake, you fainted a vagina. Could you not handle the vagina? Did you cry when you came out of a vagina?" But like when he does it, it's like, "Oh mate, that was so sick, you are the Exorcist or some shit." So yeah, now when I'm like doing the stuff, I just have to hope that I don't have some sort of seizure, because I think that might kill the mood a little. And yeah, I've never had a talk on sex ed, so I guess the only way I can learn is by reading fan fiction on a tube or something. Thank you all for listening. Hello. So I was on the tube recently in London. Have we got many people from around London here today? One. Excellent. Right, so I was on this tube, and it was quite a packed tube, so we're all quite squished together. And I noticed that there was this girl sitting next to me who was on her phone.
And being the sort of person I am, I decided to look at what she was doing on her phone. So I look over and see that she goes to a web browser, and she goes to a fan fiction website. And, nice. So in my head I'm sort of like, a fellow nerd, let's see where this goes. And she's scrolling down this fan fiction website, and she goes to the filters. And she filters specifically for Harry Potter fan fiction. And then she filters again, specifically for Harry Potter fan fiction, just containing Hermione and Draco. And then she filters again, specifically for X-rated Harry Potter fan fiction, just containing Hermione and Draco. And to me, at this point, there's sort of three things wrong with this whole situation. The first one has got to be my just sort of utter disrespect to this girl, to just sort of stand there on the tube and go, what you doing there? Second is that I'm not allowed to call her out on it. I'm not allowed to stand there on this tube and go, what are you doing? You're looking at porn in public. Third thing really wrong with this situation, I think we're all thinking it, I'm the one that's going to say it. Third thing really wrong with this situation is that clearly Hermione is not with Draco, she's loyal to Ron. Thank you. Right, so we're on this tube, goes on a bit more, and gets to one of the stops, and some people get off. And some of the seats free up, and she goes and sits down right in front of me. To this point, I'm sort of like, I guess reading time's over. And tube carries on, and after a while, I look over, and I notice she's sat there, she's just doing this. Like, come on, this just really isn't okay, is it? But apparently this sort of thing is okay, because when 50 Shades of Grey came out, everyone was just reading that in public. But you know, if I wanted to sit down between the person reading 50 Shades of Grey and their fan fiction and just, I don't know, whap out a hentai book, apparently I'm the bad guy. You know, you're allowed to sit there with your weird bondage book or your debauchery of a beloved wizarding franchise, but if I want to sit down with some cartoon tentacles and girls and have me a nice read, that's just not okay. So I started thinking to myself, you know, where do we draw the line of what is and isn't okay to read in public? Because to me, you don't do it at all. But you know, apparently society has set up this line of what's okay and what's not okay. So I was thinking to myself, you know, where is the line? And first thing I thought of was, is it the visual element? You know, if I have visual aids in my porn, don't laugh. So don't laugh. Is that not okay? You know, I'm allowed to sit down on the tube and listen to the audiobook for 50 Shades, but the second I pull up the YouTube video for the sign language, I'm getting kicked off that tube. And I thought, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's the amount of sexual content that's in it. Because after a quick Google search, I discovered that roughly 80 out of 514 pages of 50 Shades of Grey are sex. So that's roughly a 15% sex ratio. That's not a ratio, that's a percentage. So, does that mean for it to be genuinely okay for me to read porn in public, it's got to be genuinely believable that I'm reading my porn for the story? We're going off story, I guess, because we don't have any better segues tonight. Well, the other guys might do, I don't. I sure don't. I've got another story for you. So one time in secondary school, we were having an assembly, and for this assembly, the teacher comes up to the stage to the song Firework by Katy Perry. And I think when I say that, you sort of imagine in your head that she came up to the stage sort of like, 'cause baby, you're a fire. Nope. Not how it happened. The way she came up to stage was more sort of... And then we all just had to sit there while she stood there, and the rest of the entire song played. And the full music video was on the projector screen behind her. And then she starts this assembly, and this assembly is about bullying. And I think bullying is a tough subject for teachers to tackle, because there's no real easy solution to bullying, is there? But my teacher, she reckoned she'd crack this. She'd crack bullying with one easy solution. and it was a 4-letter acronym. S-U-M-O. Sumo. What does sumo stand for, you ask? How can I solve bullying with just 4 letters? Well, sumo stood for shut up and move on. My teacher's genuine solution to bullying was, oh, well, Billy, someone been bullying you? Get over it. Fuck off. Not you guys. You know, and also, I don't know how this linked into Firework by Katy Perry at all. But, you know, imagine if that's how you had to deal with situations in real life. You know, you're like, oh shit, I've been stabbed. But I can't go and tell anyone about this, because I've got to remember sumo. Even if I went to the hospital about this, it's a sign of weakness. That stabber might come back and stab me again. And the segues aren't getting any better tonight. We're just going to another thing that happened to me in secondary school. So, another time in secondary school, we were having the sex ed talk. And this was my first time ever having the actual sex ed talk. You know, we'd had like the puberty talk. This is the first time I was ever having the actual, like, here's where you put your stuff talk. And as this talk's happening, someone on the table next to us just starts, you know, leaning back in his chair, and leaning back, and leaning back, and leaning back, until eventually he just falls all the way backwards and falls on our table. And at first, we're sort of like, aha, classic class clown, at it again, the usual hijinks, excellent. And then we sit there for a minute more, and he's still not moving. And then he starts having this sort of seizure, and now we're getting really worried because it's like some sort of abstinence ghost has possessed him to stop us learning about sex. And the thing that really annoyed me about this was that I know I couldn't have gotten away with that because he was cool and I wasn't. Because, you know, if that happened to me, it would have been more like, oh, Jake, were you scared of the vagina? Did you faint because there was a vagina on the board? Whereas when he did it, it was more like, oh, mate, I was well sick. You're like the Exorcist or some shit. Right, that's my last little bit. Who here was single when they came to uni? Give us a cheer. Who here thought that was going to change when they came to uni? Who here was swiftly proven wrong when they came to uni? Yeah, you know, I was like that. I was coming to uni and I thought, oh, it's going to be great because I'm going to get to uni and people are going to see how cool I am. Clearly. And you know, it's going to be great. I'm going to have a girlfriend in no time. And that's just not really the way it worked out. Because, you see, when I got to uni, I heard something that I've never heard before. Do you want to know what that was? Yeah. Thank you. Because I was just going to leave if no one said anything. The thing that they said to me was, you remind me of my little brother. And that wasn't just one person, that was multiple girls. And they hadn't talked to each other about it, they'd all come to the same conclusion themselves. And let's face it, guys and gals, no one wants to fuck their little brother. And if you do, give me a call, yeah? Have a good one. Hello. Hello and welcome to Joke of the Oak, our Disney gig in collaboration with the Disney Society. Thank you. Today we've got a good show for you. We're going to be doing some stand-up and we've got some improv. My job is to, we call it Compère, I'm effectively just the chaperone for the acts, to bring them on stage. But my job is basically I'm just going to warm you guys up to prepare yourself for the acts. So, first thing I want you to do is I want you to do some call and response. The first thing I want you to shout out is your name on 3. If you don't know your name, say my name. It's Jake, as mentioned before. 3, 2, 1. Jake! Thank you. Now, on 3, I'd like to say your favourite Disney princess.
3, 2, 1. I had a couple of Jakes there. And lastly, on 3, I'd like you to say your favourite Disney song. 3, 2, 1.
Jake!
Jake isn't a Disney song.
It should be.
Not yet, at least. Right. Now, what I'd like to do is I'm going to get someone to clap for me. And not yet, we're getting ahead of ourselves. You, sir, would you like to be my designated clapper? You looked at me begrudgingly, so I'm going to go with yes. Right, so you're going to start clapping, then everyone is going to start clapping with him. What is your name? Sorry, I probably should. What? John? Okay. Once John starts clapping, everyone clap with him. Thank you. Thank you. Please welcome to the stage. Goodbye, everybody. I'd just like to point out that he said the Comedy Society told him to do Puss in Boots. Not true. One rogue member. Just one. Not all of us. If you're of any sort of minority and you'd like to come join us, we're not going to make you play some sort of character. It's all good. General means on Fridays this week, and then last night. Right, next we'll go to our next act, who's going to be Patrick Brown, everyone. So, like the monsters described in Patrick's set, I also scream at my appliances to make them work, but that's just because of my anger issues. You know who doesn't have anger issues? My next act! What's that? It's me on my Segway. So please welcome to the stage, Jim Oakston.
Please welcome to the stage, Jake Black.
The way you paused after Jacob before Black made it sound like you forgot my last name.
You said
I hope that's not the case. But no, since it's the comedy Christmas special, I thought I should tell you all a nice, wholesome Christmas story. So, my last stand-up set I did with the Comedy Society, I ended by saying I never had a girlfriend. Thank you. I'm now very happy to say that I now have that girlfriend. Yes, I know, I'm very, very impressive. But no, so this is the story of how we got together. So, one day, little Jakey, he was sat there, he was a little lonely boy. He was a sad little lonely boy. He's he's where I think we've all been at one point or another. You know, when you think, oh, no one's ever gonna like me, I'm never gonna find anyone. And that's how little Jakey was feeling. So what little Jakey decided to do was he decided, you know what, I'm just not going to care anymore. I'm just going to go on Tinder, I'm not going to worry about it, I'm just going to sleep with whoever I want. I'm not really sure where I got the idea that I could sleep with whoever I wanted. Something worked. But you know, that was the plan. That was the plan that we were going in with. So you know, we went on Tinder, we had ourselves a little swipe, and I saw her girl and I thought, you know, she's really pretty. So I swiped up. Can anyone tell me what a swipe up is on Tinder? You.
It's a super like.
It is, it's a super like. So for anyone that doesn't know what a super like is, if you've never been on Tinder, one, I'm really jealous. But also, a super like is basically, you get one a day, you swipe up, and then it sends you to the front of their queue, so the next time they open Tinder, they have to see your face, and immediately either reject you or match with you. So I used my super like. A couple hours later, she matched with me. So I went in there with my favourite opening line. Seeing you, it's like seeing 10 chicken nuggets in my 9-nugget meal. She swooned, I assume. I wasn't there. And she replied saying, you know, she thought it was funny. So I responded, well, if you want to hear more jokes like that, all you have to do is go on a date with me. She replied, oh, I don't date. So that was pretty gutting. You know, one, we'd used our super like for the day, and we'd used our best and only chicken nugget chow. But then I thought about it for a second, and I realised, oh, she doesn't date. So we arranged to meet up. And originally she said, you know, I've got a 9 AM in the morning, you can't stay over. But then we worked the Jake Black little nervous boy charm. We had ourselves a sleepover. You know, after we, well, I was going to say done the deed, that's a horrible After we were finished, you know, I started talking to her. She seemed really nice, you know, I thought I'd really go on with her. And it actually turned out that she had seen me at a comedy gig before. And subconsciously, I'd like to think that that's the reason she matched with me. Because to be honest, there's nothing sexier than what I was doing when she saw me, which was being on stage dressed as a toaster and pretending to have sex with another man. So, you know. But, you know, we started talking to her, you know, I thought she was really nice. And I told her so the next day, sent her a message and just said, hey, you know, if you want to see each other again, I thought you were really cool, that'd be cool with me. She responded, I think we should probably just sleep with other people. Which really what that amounted to was that she should sleep with other people, because this guy, no. But you know, we still kept texting every day, we were still getting on really well. And a couple of days later, she messaged me and said, hey, do you want to come over tonight? I said, yes. Yes, I really do. I'm still really desperate. But then as the day went on, I got progressively more and more ill. So we got to the point where about an hour before I was supposed to go over, I had to message her and say, sorry, I'm really ill, I don't think I'm going to make it tonight. She responded, you know, that's fine, see you another time. The next day, she told me that as soon as I told her I wasn't coming over, she'd been on Tinder and arranged to meet with someone else that night. Which is just my favourite thing about Tinder, really. It's just how immediately replaceable you are. Just, you know, you slip up for 1 second and there's 50 other people just waiting in line. It's just, you know, it's just the nicest feeling. But you know, we still kept chatting, and a couple of days after that, she messaged me again. She said, hey, do you want to come and watch a film tonight? Again, obviously, I said yes. So I went over, we watched the sexiest film, Shrek. And you know, after that, we kept seeing each other more and more often. We were talking, we were really getting on, things were going really well. And I was sort of trying to get it to the point, because at this point, we weren't exclusive, like officially, but neither of us had slept with anyone else. Apart from that time she had slept with someone else. You know, I was now hoping to get it to the point where I could sort of propose, but not propose. Make a proposition that we make it exclusive. But then it got to the Christmas holidays, so we weren't seeing each other every day anymore. So, you know, whenever I try and bring this up over text, she would respond, well, you see, the thing about that is that I've got 2 people lined up for when I get back to Lancaster after Christmas. And you know, there's that nice feeling again. Right there, in my soul. But you know, at the same time, I couldn't be annoyed about this, because one of the guys, he was just fit. I can't compete with that. The second one, he had offered to lick her arsehole. And you know, if someone's offering to do that for you, you might as well take him up on it. And that sounds like I'm saying that I have experienced this, and I'm suggesting you guys try it too. I haven't. I'm just saying, you know, if someone offers, and you fancy it, go for it, don't be ashamed. But you know, also, you know, I'm not trying to slut shame or anything. You know, if any of you guys are out there and you just want to sleep with whoever I want, don't take advice from me. Whoever you want, you know, you're not looking to be tied down or anything. You go for it. I will be proud of you. But you know, we kept speaking over Christmas holidays. We still texting every day. And one day she messaged me and she said, hey, you know, I think I might be really starting to like you. To which I was like, yes, yes, yes. Not how I replied though. I tried to play this off very cool. I am not very cool. So I sort of, you know, I replied back sort of like, oh, that's cool, maybe sometime soon I'll start liking you back. To which then she replied, oh God, you don't like me at all, do you? I'm such an idiot. So then I had to backtrack. I'm like, no, I really like you. I really like you. Please, just please. To which she then responded, oh, I didn't actually mean that, you know, I liked you yet. I just meant, you know, I thought maybe sometime soon I'd get to the stage where I'd start liking you. There he is again. Creeping his way in. I would like to also just point out at this moment that I have okayed this set with my girlfriend. She has heard this. However, whenever I've gone through this with her, she has also said, oh, they're going to think I'm a bitch. Which, you know, I have tried to minimize. Anyway, Christmas holidays. So, you know, the Christmas holidays came to an end after 3 weeks. You know, we both went back to Lancaster. And, you know, you may be saying to yourself, hey, hang on, those Christmas holidays, don't they last 4 weeks, not 3? You're right. Good on you. The reason that we went back a week early was that she had gone back a week early. And she said to me, hey, you know, if you come and join me a week early, I probably won't end up sleeping with those 2 guys and I'll sleep with you instead. So immediately I went downstairs, I told my mum and dad about all this work I wasn't getting done at home and really needed to get back to uni to get done. You know, they were trying to help me move back in after Christmas. Like, oh, should we go for a meal somewhere after this? Should we go for a coffee or something? No, Mum! The word! It can't wait! But, you know, we got back after 3 weeks. We did eventually become exclusive, and then by the end of January, I had asked her if she wanted to be my girlfriend, and she did say yes. The story has a happy ending. But, you know, if you're ever feeling like I did, you know, you're ever feeling at one point, oh, no one's ever going to fancy me, I'm never going to find anyone. I've got 3 tips for you. 1, you've got to persevere. Just stick with things, you know, don't just drop things at the first instant things go bad, you know, see them through to the end. 2nd, you are going to have to roll with some pretty big punches. And the 3rd, possibly the most important, but I can't say I know. At some point or another, your tongue may end up touching a butthole.